Today we're going to look at the all-new 2023 Honda Accord, in particular this Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. Now Honda has completely taken a different approach to this vehicle. They've completely redesigned the exterior along with the interior. So you look at this car and you see the very first thing that stands out from the front is no longer do you have that humongous chrome grille. It's more simplistic grille. It's gloss black, reminds me a little bit of the Acura, and you also have a smaller headlight in the front. And then also the car is slightly longer, close to 3 inches longer. And this car also has a sportback look, reminds me a little bit of the Audi A5. Now because this is the sport trim, you do get the gloss or the black trim around the window with the gloss black mirrors, and also with the upgraded 19-inch wheels, as well as a gloss rear deck lid spoiler. Looking at the side profile, you see, as I mentioned, you have that roofline on the rear that comes down almost like a Sportback. The only downside to that is that you do lose a bit of headroom as a rear passenger. Now looking through the back, completely new taillights as well. I do like this design, incorporating the taillight as one, so you have that long taillight that is very standard now in the industry. Now the Honda logo to me looks slightly smaller. I'm not sure what you guys think, but maybe because the light is just so big it looks smaller. And then coming around the driver's side door, you do have your gas cap there, and that's something very interesting I want to get to later in the video about the gas cap. Something that Honda does that I do like very much. Now there are several trims in the Accord lineup. Honda has actually no longer has the 2-liter engine. They've modified that to be the hybrid engine. Now looking at the interior of the Honda, you'll see the same design elements from the newest Honda Civic, but again this is a bit more spacious because it is a mid-size compared to Honda's being a compact. Civic being a compact. Now you do get a digital gauge cluster in the new 2023 Accord. It's 10.2 inches in size and a 7-inch infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard on LX and EX trims. And then you also have both of the Accord's USB-C ports can be used for rapid charging, and the car's software can be updated wirelessly to stay up to date. Now another thing to mention is the AC vents that are incorporated in these little triangular bits throughout the car. Now that is something that Honda introduced with the Civic, and I think it looks very interesting. It looks very different. Now another thing that Honda did claim in this new vehicle is that they paid special attention to detail on the qualities, the plastic switch gears of the new Accord to make it a more premium feel. They also mentioned they've added what they call body stabilizing front seats to the Accord in an effort to cut down on driver and passenger fatigue. And you also have additional storage bins behind the gear lever. Now this is a hybrid. It is not a plug-in hybrid. Honda has decided to not work with the plug-in hybrid at this time. And then you get the glove box. It's additional storage space as well. Interesting thing to me is a lot of these vehicle companies now are no longer doing the ability to lock your glove box compartment, which I thought was actually something that needed to be done. Now that's how you can adjust there you have your power on start. And also I do like to point out that the Sport does come with these aluminum pedals, so you get the accelerator, the brake. Now let's look at the rear for the passengers. As I mentioned, the car does have a sloped rear roof, so you're going to lose a little bit of headroom as a passenger, but you do have plenty of leg room in the rear, and seats 3 pretty comfortably. I would say, however, that those that sit in the middle are going to struggle a bit just because you have that transmission tunnel, so it is going to be a little bit less leg room for you there. Now there is no AC vent in the back, which I think is a shame, especially when you live in the hotter states like we do here in Florida. you know, in a hot summer's day. It's very, very warm, and I'm not sure why automakers continue to, you know, eliminate that in the rear. But nonetheless, looking around, you do have, for those that sit in the back, a armrest with 2 cup holders. Now there is no cables in the back, so you can't, you know, charge as you can in some other cars. The headliner is black, which I think is a nice touch. It gives it a more sporty look, but also it's better for, you know, cleanliness. Sometimes you have, especially if you have kids and you have a gray roof, it can get dirty. Looking at the back of the car, you have a trunk that is basically unchanged compared to last year as far as the volume. This is 16.7 cubic feet. Now the seats do have a 60-40 split. As you see here, as you pull those, the seats will go, you have to go in the car and drop them down. So it does give you, you know, more storage space. So you have this space here in the middle. If you need to store additional things and you put the seat back, you have a lot more storage. Now, the interesting thing to point out is you do have these little emergencies. So I like the fact that Honda made it very smaller and hidden for you to put that there in case someone gets trapped. So let's show you guys the Honda Civic's fuel cap system. Basically, there is no fuel cap, so there's nothing to put on, screw off, put back on. You just open it, fill it in, take it out. Never really seen that before. Have you guys? Leave comments below, please. So just want to give you guys a closer look at the wheel setup. Now this is the 19-inch matte wheels, rear and front, same dimensions on Goodyear Eagle tires. You have 4-wheel disc brakes. I think the wheels look very nice on this car. Gives it a nice contrast, especially when you have the black throughout the rear spoiler and everything else. But you do see here the front view of the front wheels. You know, brakes are slightly bigger, as you see. Let's take a look at the window sticker. This car is priced at $34,970, but with some additional options, it goes all the way up to $38,601. With a combined fuel economy of 44 miles per gallon. And here you have all the standard features. This is, again, the Sport Hybrid L model. Let's look at the Honda Accord's engine. So this is the 2-liter hybrid engine. Now this car has the engine, of course, and it has 2 hybrid motors that help with the vehicle. Now it develops a total output of 204 horsepower and 247 pound-foot of torque. So the horsepower figure is actually 8 less horsepower than the previous car, but 15 more pound-foot of torque. Now with the 2-liter Ford being discontinued, the hybrid now becomes the most powerful Accord, and they're also marketing it as the, you know, sportier version. Now all Accords do come with a CVT transmission. Now this engine should be, you know, very reliable, as Honda engines are. So I'm just kind of showing you around all of the intricacies of the engine, because again, this is a hybrid setup. So you do have these additional, you know, things running through here, these hoses and additional things that are unseen. Hope you guys enjoyed.